Hi everyone, this is Mason Winfield with another installment of Psi-Friday with Mason. Today we are talking about the subject of miniature cities. This case you're not aware, this is July 2025, and within recent weeks I read a fairly recent article on the internet about the discovery of a miniature settlement in the waters of a reservoir in Wyoming, not far from Casper. Apparently, a farmer was flying his plane around and he looked down at the unusually clear and maybe retreating waters of this reservoir, and he saw what was obviously the foundations of a human-made structure, possibly even enclosed in a circle. And I remember thinking, that's crazy. This is revolutionary if it's true. Then I started looking into it a little bit, and you realize that they named this anthropologist or archaeologist or something, Dr. Ellen Binks. The person doesn't seem to exist. And then you realize that, there's fake news. You think it's bad in politics, check the paranormal. But the trick is, they were referencing legends about little human beings in their part of Wyoming, which is near Casper, San Pedro Mountains. And they're onto something that is at least interesting. Your average American has no idea how common legends about mysterious, supernatural little people are around the world. Your average person stereotypes them as Ireland, Scotland, the German societies, Iceland. The native people of these continents have an enormous tradition of legends and stories about little people. And these little people are shockingly similar to the ones of Europe. And they're interesting because there's some consistency around the world of the legends of these little people. The fact that they exist in so many societies is in itself interesting as a matter of folklore. But for now, I think the reason they started making a big deal out of little people in Casper, Wyoming, it might be because they found one in a mine. I think the year, well, they're not sure about the year, but it was either 1932 or 1934 that a couple of gold prospectors blew open a hole in a cave. And they found a little gold in there, but they found this mini human mummy sitting on its haunches, looking at them. And, thing was dead meat, and, but it's about that big. Maybe standing, it would have been 17 inches. And there's pro and con about it, as you would gather. But it's not the only mini mummy that was found. Now, there are many photographs of this first little mummy they found. They nicknamed him Pedro because they found him in the San Pedro Mountains. And he was bought by a used car salesman or something. He was trying to make money off of him, and he was lost. But there have been many photographs of him. And there were some examinations made of him possibly in the 1940s. Now, our tech today is dramatically greater. We'd have had the answer to this. So I'm not going to comment on this critter. The argument is not out there that he's an alien or a true little person. But yet, fairly recently, like the 1990s, a program featuring him, I think it was Unsolved Mysteries, about this little mummy. And there were some people also in Wyoming who said, well, we got another one. This one they call Chiquita. It's smaller. And it's odd because it's got blonde hair. But it's like that big. Don't tell me anything about Vikings here. It's that big, all right? And this thing still exists. And it's been pronounced to be an anencephalic, I think is the way you'd pronounce it. It's a baby whose brain didn't develop right, and they come out and they're dead and whatever. But they don't explain very well why it's blonde. I remember reading an article and they go, well, unexplained is, it's unusual for it to be blonde and Native American. And I'm thinking to myself, what other blonde Native American do you know of, So it's a little curious. But there was also one that was found in the Atacama Desert. And that was found fairly recently. Now, Chile is the South American country that has, the Atacama is one of the driest places on the planet. And there happens to be a ghost city, a lost, a post-European city. There's no mystery about it, just people stopped living there. And apparently that's about where they found this little mummy. And this one is the one of them that looks like an alien. And they've done DNA on it, and some people go, well, it's a normal human being, just born differently, the brain thing didn't develop, it's a fetus. And then there's other people who go, they don't agree with that. But for the moment, I should recall that here in Western New York, where I am from, there are many legends about little people. And my favorite, and one that I'm going to close with, there's a rumor going around among the Six Nations people, many of whom I know in Western New York. They say that during the construction of the Erie Canal, which is this long east-west corridor partly dug across the New York landscape, it was the early superhighway before they made the I-90. But a lot of the laborers were Irish. And it was said that in Onondaga territory, they're one of the Six Nations, near Syracuse, an Irish crew found the body of a tiny human being, a skeleton, with artifacts, tiny artifacts, bows that are about that big. And it freaked the whole crew. And the word is that they weren't pacified until a group of Onondaga elders came to kind of calm the scene down, and they absconded with the body. There is a lot I could tell you about this subject of the little people, not only in the world, but in America, in the United States. But I think for now, we should probably end our episode of Psi-Friday with Mason by suggesting to you that you join us next Friday.